Okay, so have a look at question 2A first. Distinguish between negative and positive feedback using examples from environmental systems. Note that it's for 4 marks. Hit pause now. Okay, so basically here you're just going to give your definitions to show that there's a contrast between negative and positive feedback. So negative feedback dampens down fluctuations from equilibrium, whereas positive increases away from the equilibrium, either leading to instability or to a new equilibrium. Okay, and for example then, we could say positive feedback. Well, let me stop there and tell you to hit pause again. You go and think now, what would be a couple of examples? What would be good? And it says environmental systems. What would be a couple of good systems that you could use here? Okay, so positive feedback, I would use global warming and ice melting. So this releases methane into the atmosphere, the methane bubbles that have been trapped by the ice over millions of years. And then as they're released, they're going to add to the greenhouse effect, leading to increased warming, and so moving us away from the equilibrium that we enjoy in our comfortable atmosphere. Okay, and then another system, since it says environmental systems, I'm going to impress them that I know more than just global warming. So I'm going to look at ecosystems and, of course, negative feedback. So easy in ecosystems because you've got your predator-prey dynamic, and you'll then explain that as you go through, the predator eating the prey numbers will decline, which will cause the predator numbers to decline. Keep it as simple as you can because it's just for 4 marks. Okay, hit pause and go and finish answering that question. Okay, question part B. The rate of world population growth is expected to slow so that by 2050 it will have stabilized at 10 billion. What are 3 development policies that would enable the population to stabilize? Okay, hit pause, have a go. Okay, so, alright, so we've got 3 developmental policies, 6 marks. So 1, 2, 3. What are development policies? These are policies put into place by governments, intergovernmental agencies, non-profits that would help population to stabilize, right? Will help development in some way. So we're thinking about development, we're thinking about sustainable development, ways that the population can slow. All right, go ahead and think what you know. Okay, so one would be increasing ease of access to contraceptives. And you could develop on that by talking about perhaps programs that promote contraceptives. For example, the Michai program, which made them pretty acceptable. It's easy to buy condoms at the counter in Tops, anywhere. You don't have to go to a special shop. You don't have to ask for them. The embarrassment's removed. So this all adds to the ease of contraception. Another policy could be to lower the price or even supply them for free. Okay, another development policy could be like increased education spending for women's programs. So we know that as women become more educated, they either delay childbirth till they're older, have fewer children, or even opt not to have children at all. Okay, and then a third developmental policy, if we improve postnatal, prenatal care, so we lower infant mortality, that in turn will encourage people not to have so many children because they don't lose so many children to childhood diseases or infant deaths. So this has also been a development policy that's been shown to work. So which ones did you come up with? Go back now, either develop your own or write up this answer to this question now. Okay, part C. A vegetarian diet is described as better for the environment. Discuss this statement using your knowledge of ecosystems and environmental value systems. It's for 8 marks, so we're going to go through here. Well, you go and look at it now. Pause and look at your question. Okay, so here's the clue part. We've got, how is a vegetarian diet better? And I'm going to look at this in ecosystems. That's one part. And the second part is in bring in value systems. How can I use my value systems to justify this argument? Okay, so I'm discussing, I'm not justifying. I'm discussing, I might want to look at both sides. Okay, so in ecosystems, actually you go now, press pause, have a go. Okay, I'm going to give you another clue. I want you in ecosystems to think about productivity. Productivity pyramids, what's happening to the energy as you move up the food chain. If you haven't included that, press pause and have a go now. Okay, so as we go up the food chain, we lose energy. That means we've lost more energy to heat compared to the amount of energy that came in by the sun. So one, the food chain is inefficient. Energy is lost the higher up the food chain we go. So it is more efficient. We gain more of the sun's original input of energy if we eat lower in the food chain, e.g. producers. Okay, so that would make us a vegetarian if we only ate producers. Okay, how else could it be better for the environment if we bring in value systems now? I think actually we'll go back to the ecosystem. This is a hard question even for me. So eating a diet of meat, so meat is mostly primary consumers. The massive amount of meat that we consume causes what? What does it cause? It causes eutrophication because we have so much phosphorus, so much urea from the waste of cows and sheep and pigs entering the water system. So it causes eutrophication, pollution, bad smell. And here I can start linking in my value systems, okay? So aesthetically, bad smells are undesirable for a healthy, beautiful environment. Okay. What other problems do we have? Largely supporting this massive amount of primary consumers means they will not be healthy. And I don't know how good of an argument that is, because perhaps we could just have them at lower densities and that would be helpful. But I think you could argue the mark there. So they have to be given antibiotics or hormones to make them grow. But it's a hard question there because, you know, we would put those kinds of things into plants as well. So, eat low in the food chain for producers. In value systems, okay, so value systems, ethical. So now we can talk about the ethical treatment of animals. Plants have a less developed nervous system, so don't feel pain, and animals can become sick. Animals can feel pain and we have to slaughter them. Okay, ethical, aesthetic. Animals, so we could talk about intrinsic. So animals have the right to life. So think about like organizations like PETA, which is the People's Ethical Treatment for Animals, quite an extreme group for the protection of animal rights. And I think I'm going to stop there. I'm going to check the mark scheme, because the main thing in terms of the ecosystem is that we lose energy as we go higher up the food chain. One thing I would add to this, possibly could get a mark, but eating animals even higher on the food chain, predators, secondary consumers, may endanger them because there are less of them, e.g. eating a tiger. Okay, very, very bad for tiger populations who simply don't have enough. Okay, give it a go.